Welcome back. Now, the Sasikala Natarajan camp has put up a brave face in opposition to the O Paneerselvam camp's moves. They have reasserted that they are confident of good news from Governor Vidyasagar Rao in this matter. Sasikala Natarajan has even tweeted from the AIADMK official Twitter handle that no one can create hurdles to her ascent to the seat of Chief Minister. She remains confident of success. Her cadre continues to maintain a brave face despite more defections to the Paneerselvam camp.
Ma'am, we heard that the governor has given an appointment. Has he given an appointment today in the evening?
So far, we not got any news. Now only I'm going inside. But whatever it is, hopefully we are waiting today. Definitely, Honorable Governor will call us and give us a good results. Because democratic way, in a proper way, we are given our letter. So definitely today we are expecting a good results from Honorable Governor.
Is that why we see so many parties, so many members of the party come here today, gather in front of the house?
Yeah, because we hope. We believe we'll get a good answer because we did in a proper way, ma. We are given a majority support for Honorable Chinnamma. So definitely today we'll be getting a good results. Definitely.
Ma'am, we heard that so earlier when a former minister briefed the media, he said that the DMK and the BJP is all in chief ministerial candidate being selected.
Everybody knows. Yesterday, even in a press meet, our Honorable General Secretary Chinnamma said very clearly, people knows who is behind. Press people knows who is behind. Definitely they want to play, but one thing I'm telling you, nobody can split this party. Real cadres of this party who loves MGR, who loves Amma, will stand here only. People goes this, we are not worried about it. Real people are here. So definitely God will be with us. Our Honorable Chief Minister Amma will be with us. Definitely we'll get a good results today.
Ma'am, OPS is expected to leave for the secretariat any minute now.
We are waiting for our results, ma. Thank you.
Even the hearing of the MLAs being in hostage is also going to take place.
Yesterday, very clearly, all MLAs gave a press meet. They are here very happily, and they gave the support to Honorable Chinnamma Amma. No confusion in that. If anybody wants to make confusion also, it won't happen. Thank you.
So Shalini Lobo getting in comments there from AIADMK C R Saraswathi. Meanwhile, the MLA from Arupukottai says that we are confident that the governor will invite Sasikala today. Let's listen in.
மெஜாரிட்டி பெறமிக்கது ஒரு அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய சட்டமன்ற குழு தலைவரை அழைப்பதுதான் முறை என்று சட்ட நிபுணர்கள் கருத்து சொல்லி வண்ணம் இருக்கிறார்கள். ஆகவே இதற்கு செவிசாய்த்து ஜனநாயக கடமையை காப்பாற்றுகிற விதத்தில் மேதக ஆளுநர் அவர்கள் இன்று அழைப்பார்கள், மிக விரைவில் அழைப்பார்கள் என்று நாங்கள் எதிர்பார்க்கிறோம், காத்திருக்கிறோம்.
With no resolution in sight and impatient, Sasikala camp has threatened to take the fight for Tamil Nadu government straight to the president. AIADMK's Karnataka state president, who accompanied Sasikala to the Golden Bay resort, claims Chinnamma enjoys the support of 129 legislators, and if Governor Vidyasagar Rao does not act by today, they will march to President Pranab Mukherjee. AIADMK also demands the dismissal of Governor Vidyasagar Rao. In fact, India Today has learned that Sasikala will be addressing the media today. All eyes on whether she will spell out her strategy, considering that she has not been invited by the governor as of now.
Any plan of meeting presidents or going to meet governor?
It is possibility. Everything is possibility. That is a real plan. Tomorrow this governor again keeping quiet. This is unfortunate. This is the democratic country. The constitution completely, the murder of democracy, I can say, this is the thing going on. If governor, they don't want to react this, as for the democratic, he don't want respect to us, then no other way.
So as the political deadlock continues in Tamil Nadu, BJP MP Subramaniam Swamy has made another sensational claim on the crisis in the southern state. Swamy has claimed that although the centre is not behind the governor's wait-and-watch stand, but some union ministers are taking undue interest in Tamil Nadu's affairs. Backing Sasikala's claim to form the government, Subramaniam Swamy has said that she should visit Delhi only as a chief minister. He claimed that Sasikala had support of the AIADMK MLAs and she should be invited to form the government. Meanwhile, Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu has defended the governor and said that he is well within his right to defer the decision. Tamil Nadu's interim Chief Minister O Paneerselvam has also reached the state secretariat. He left his residence earlier today with large crowds looming there. These are visuals of his convoy reaching the secretariat a short while ago. Security has completely been stepped up for Paneerselvam's first visit to the secretariat since he submitted his resignation and took on the role as the caretaker chief minister. Now, he does seem to be sending across a clear message to the Sasikala camp that he is the man in charge, that he is the chief minister of Tamil Nadu. This comes after days, in fact, after he called for Jayalalitha's residence, the Veda Nilayam, to be converted into a memorial, and also called for a probe into the secrecy around Jaya's health leading up to her death in the Apollo hospital. Paneerselvam has also received death threats. Chennai police have filed a case against MLA VP Kalai Rajan for allegedly issuing death threats to the interim chief minister. And in fact, ongoing developments, the DMK's working president MK Stalin too has now arrived at the state secretariat, but he refused to comment on what the DMK plans to do amidst this ongoing turmoil in the ruling AIADMK. Listen into what MK Stalin had to say to the press people. It's a day of very important twists and turns. Now, MK Stalin has arrived at the secretariat as well, and there have been so many allegations flying thick and fast. The AIADMK camp, of course, calling, the camp that is loyalist as far as Sasikala is concerned. They claiming that Paneerselvam is a traitor, that whatever he has been doing is at the behest of the DMK. He's allowing the DMK to, in a way, cause a vertical split in the party. Some MLAs have been alleging that whatever is happening in the state, the governor's behavior, the governor's dilly-dallying of swearing in a leader is to be blamed upon the centre and the BJP, because they seem to be intervening in the state's affairs. The Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu is now saying that, the governor is well within his rights to defer the decision. These are visuals of MK Stalin, who has been lashing out at, of course, the governor. He has been lashing out and saying that the state is heading towards a constitutional breakdown, that there has to be a chief minister who needs to be sworn in. We do not know what the agenda is like, but it's a week since Paneerselvam resigned. It's his first day that he is in the secretariat. Whether he will actually go ahead, meet with cabinet leaders, take in some important executive decisions is something we do not know. And what is MK Stalin's plan like when he is at the secretariat today is also adding to the curiosity. There you can see, in fact, huge crowds, heavy security deployment as well outside the secretariat, and MK Stalin avoiding questions being posed by India Today. Now we saw the elevation of Chinnamma as Amma, or as the party's general secretary. But when it comes to Sasikala Natarajan being sworn in as the state's chief minister, of course, there are several hurdles and also big mistakes that Sasikala seemed to have made. Take a look at some of the big mistakes that we are talking about. First of all, failed to explain secrecy around Jayalalitha's death. There were several questions that were raised around Amma's death, and this, of course, led to a failure in public perception. She also failed to make Amma's will public. This is being viewed as an encroacher. The fact that she and her family are now staying in Poe's Garden, allowing the Manargudi clan to crowd around Jayalalitha's casket. It showed the return of her tainted family, which had been kept at a distance while Amma was alive. Also, she seems to be too impatient to be crowned as chief minister, which literally made Paneerselvam the victim in public eye. Some reports suggesting that perhaps she was asked by priests to try and expedite the process. An underestimated popularity of Paneerselvam among cadre, public. This fanned a revolt in party amongst the old guards, amongst loyalists. Paneerselvam considered affable, soft-speaking, but little did Sasikala know that after his visit to Jayalalitha's memorial, there would be this uprising within the AIADMK. And even as the Sasikala Paneerselvam battle rages on in Tamil Nadu, the immediate future of the state remains in the hands of Governor Vidyasagar Rao. As he buys time, former Attorney General Soli Sorabji, who has been Governor Vidyasagar Rao's primary advisor on the crisis in Tamil Nadu, has spoken to India Today about the next logical step in this deadlock. While defending the governor's decision to defer the swearing-in, Sorabji has, however, made it clear that the governor should not delay it after Wednesday.
As the crisis is impending, you have also spoken to India Today earlier, saying that Tamil Nadu governor must decide. So what are the options right now before C. Vidyasagar Rao?
The options before the governor are as follows. Suppose there was nothing pending in the Supreme Court and the High Court judgment has completely cleared Sasikala of corruption charges, then of course you'd have to act according to cabinet advice. and determine the majority by protest in the House. That's the only way to do it. But the problem is, the Supreme Court has admitted the appeal against the High Court judgment. Appeal has been heard, and the judgment is expected next week sometime. So what the governor has done is not declined. He can't decline the request. He has just deferred it. Deferred it for 2 or 3 days, by which time the Supreme Court judgment will be pronounced, and then matters will become clear. And then it acts according to the judgment. If the Supreme Court says no High Court judgment is correct, Sasikala is not in any involved in corruption, then it's very straightforward. Then suppose have a protest to determine the majority and swear her in, or swear any other person the party wants. But if the Supreme Court holds, and it's possible, the Sasikala is guilty of corruption, has committed offences under the Prevention of Corruption Act, then the governor need not call her can't call her to form the government, can't swear her in as chief minister. It will be very anomalous that to swear some person as a chief minister, she incurs disqualification because of corruption charges, and under 192 she is disqualified. So in these circumstances, I think the governor may well wait for 2 or 3 days for the Supreme Court judgment to be pronounced, but it can't be indefinite. Suppose the Supreme Court judgment doesn't come next week, because it's not likely to come soon, then the governor has to, in the normal course, accept the advice of the cabinet and have a protest organized in the House and determine accordingly.
Okay, so one after the other, several crucial developments taking place as far as Tamil Nadu's political situation is concerned. On the one hand, where Paneerselvam is at the CM Secretariat, which is being tracked by my colleague Akshay Nath, who joins us on the broadcast. There's also that fresh plea that has been filed in Supreme Court seeking that the governor should swear in the CM with the majority. Anusha Soni is joining us from outside of the Apex Court. Anusha, breakdown. There are 2 pleas today in Supreme Court. One by ML Sharma, the other we believe that Subramaniam Swamy has also gone ahead and filed a writ petition. Break it down for our viewers.
Well, Smita, first is, there is a caveat which has been filed by a lawyer called GS Money. There's an NGO which you'd remember earlier had moved in a petition opposing Sasikala to be sworn in as the Chief Minister. A caveat has been filed anticipating that Dr. Subramaniam Swamy may soon file a writ petition. Swamy's writ petition is yet to be filed formally in the Supreme Court. Yes, we have been hearing that Swamy might move the court very soon. However, a plea is yet to be filed in the Supreme Court. As far as the plea of lawyer ML Sharma is concerned, in his petition, it's a PIL, he has specifically demanded that the governor must act against the void-in law. He must make a speedy decision and appoint the Chief Minister of the state of Tamil Nadu. The arguments are on the same line as we heard Soli Surabji and earlier Rajiv Dhawan, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, had also gone on record and said that the entire conduct of the governor has been unconstitutional and there cannot be a void-in law. He must act as soon as possible. If the judgment, which we are expecting early this week, does not come anytime soon, the governor cannot continue to let the situation linger on, and he must take a decision very soon. So far, the Supreme Court has abstained from interfering. It's a matter worth wait and watch whether they'll do something about this.
Okay, and Akshay, now take us through what is happening at the Secretariat. Why is MK Stalin there today? Was it something that the press was expecting?
Well, Smita, earlier today, MK Stalin, the acting president of the DMK, and the opposition party leader was here. He was here for like close to 20 minutes. And before leaving, when India Today asked him about what are the next action plans of the DMK, he was very cut and straight. He said there's no action plan whatsoever. And it was also seen that Durai Murugan, one of his aides who was there with him, had mentioned saying what is there more to talk about right now. It's a party's internal affair. And moving on, we also saw 15-20 minutes back, Paneerselvam had also arrived at the Secretariat, and he walked straight into his office. Right now, eagerly, people are waiting to know what are his action plans, because it's the first time Paneerselvam has come to the Secretariat after tendering his resignation and also making that big statement at the Marina Beach saying that he was forced to resign. So two things that O. Pannirselvam is doing now. He's trying to emphasize on the factor that administration work has resumed and will go on. And the second factor that he's sending a strong message to the Sasikala camp saying that he is back in the secretariat, he is in charge, and he will lead as the Chief Minister of the state. Back to you, Smita.
Okay, Anusha, also in terms of this, we've heard voices coming in from Soli Sarabji to the others. As far as the Supreme Court verdict there is concerned, because a lot of the governor's action is now hinged upon how that plays out. What more can be added at this point in time in terms of the case and, by when are things likely to clear up?
Well, Smita, you'd remember that earlier last week there was an oral observation from the bench led by Justice Ghosh that within a week the judgment will be pronounced. There is no legal sanctity of the statement. This is just an oral assurance which was handed down by the court to the lawyer Dushyant Dave, who is representing the state of Karnataka. Now, it's on those lines that the entire discourse has framed around it, even decisions of the governor, that the disproportionate assets judgment must come as soon as possible. But as Soli Sarabji and other lawyers have pointed out, that if within this week the court does not give a judgment, there is no fixed date on which the judgment is likely to come, because these are merely oral observations of the court. The governor cannot keep the situation at bay. He must take a decision, and he must take a decision within a reasonable time. These are points which are very clearly laid down in the various judgments of the Supreme Court, and as recent as the Arunachal Pradesh judgment, you'd remember, in which the court very clearly clarified that the governor must act on the aid and advice of the cabinet ministers. Only in a situation of constitutional crisis he has a discretion, and in situation like this he does have a reasonable time to make his decision, but the time must remain limited. It cannot be ad infinitum. It cannot be forever.
Akshay, coming to you in terms of the Secretariat, if you could give us a sense of the mood outside, because we are being told that security has been stepped up. And is there any further clarity on what is Chinnamma's strategy going to be like? Are there apprehensions of protests playing out on the streets?
Well, Smita, if I can show you a little bit, we can see that police officials are completely here, covered the entire premises. They're also trying to actually place barricades all across, and police officials not only in uniform but also in civil uniforms are moving in and out of this place and are trying to restrict the access for many outsiders. And media people who have come here are also anxiously waiting, because this is the first time O. Pannirselvam has come back to the Secretariat in a week's time, and most of his ministers are not with him, are at the Sasikala camp. So it's a tough task for him, even if he's trying to prove that the governance is going on. Most of his ministers are not here. So there is a kind of uncertainty on the factor that what is O. Pannirselvam going to do now. On the second question that you're asking, Sasikala's camp is planning some kind of an action. We're being told that there is a protest in suggestion that they might be moving to the Marina Beach to Jayalalitha's memorial to conduct a protest of a sort, or they've already started giving a petition. It's seen that the government has already filed, the AIADMK has already filed a petition at the Supreme Court saying that the governor has to, invite Sasikala and her team of ministers to swear in, because it's been more than 7 days since the resignation was accepted by the governor, and it's high time that a new government is in place, because right now it's a complete state of uncertainty. There's no government in place. The administration is not happening. So the Sasikala's camp has already started asking this. They've also tried contacting the governor twice before. Smita, this is the kind of course that Sasikala will be taking. She will need an immediate action plan, because the DA case's verdict is going to be out anytime this week.
Okay, and Anusha, just very briefly before I wrap up this conversation, because you're in Supreme Court, what is the legal chatter like in the corridors there? Are there, speculations that perhaps the ultimate crisis resolution will happen through by way of the Supreme Court itself?
Well, Smita, I must say that the corridors are abuzz with rumors. And, the words from the lawyers is that, however much stalemate you might see in the state of Tamil Nadu, however much the political tussle may intensify, the final word on this entire conflict will be from the Supreme Court. Because if the Supreme Court decides against the High Court verdict, which gave a clean sheet to Jayalalitha and also Sasikala, it will be one of the biggest, setbacks to the Sasikala camp, because after this she has no court of appeal, and after this there is no remedy for her in law. Also,
Right.
very briefly, the point which was just now mentioned by Akshita, the fact that Paneer Selvam has resigned, whether he can take his resignation back is also very much constitutionally debated. Lawyers have in fact gone on to say that back when Morarji Desai wanted to take back his resignation, he was not allowed to do so. Once you've done it, you can't take it back. So
Right.
even there's a bit of grey area, and even there is a legal battle that may lie ahead.
Absolutely. So this is an interesting political chess game, and every move of every camp being watched so closely. Anusha Soni reporting there from outside Supreme Court, Akshay Anatha from the Chennai Secretariat. Appreciate both of you joining us on the broadcast. Remember, the most comprehensive coverage with our team of reporters spanned across Tamil Nadu to Delhi continues on India Today on the war for their political throne in Tamil Nadu. Do stay on with us.